So this week was very much unscripted, as we usually say. It kind of came out of just an off-cuff conversation that we usually have before we actually start recording. But we were recording this week, so I'll include it. But the main thing was just dealing with transitions in life, with change, and specifically related to the kind of transitions that I'm going through in life at the moment.
Yeah, it was mainly focused on James's current situation, but we certainly referenced the past as well because current situations are an outcome from things that happened in the past. And yeah, we talked about your relationship with change, your openness to new horizons and new opportunities, and the relationship between the past and the present that you have and the future that you can create. So very unscripted, very, as James said, really evolved from a comment or something he said, and before you knew it, we made a call out of it. Quite meta at times, but I think there's a bit in this for those that watch the episode.
Yeah, let us know what you think and enjoy.
Also, numbers are different. You're going through what I went through when I closed the surf shop. When I started realizing I could make more in a week's exaggerating, definitely a month. I could make more in a month than I could in a year in the surf shop. And then all of a sudden I got very uninterested in the surf shop. And not long after that it was closed.
Yeah, and I still like having the course sales. I still love the notifications coming through. That's awesome. But I'm going through this, especially the last 2 weeks, going through this stage of just like separating myself from my brand,
Okay.
almost feeling like the content that I'm doing now for sales stuff is more of a keeping up appearances.
Right. Right. You're doing it out of obligation rather than love or passion or connection or whatever the right word is.
Sunk cost fallacy. Not the opposite of sunk cost fallacy. I've put in all of that effort and I've got a great brand and I don't want to
Mm.
let that go. And I know that I shouldn't stop posting.
Yeah. Then why not post about stuff that you are legitimately like bring your audience with you rather than you go to your audience? Why don't you bring your audience with you? Like keep posting but document your current journey and the evolution of it. Like
Mm.
that could be inspiring. You've taken the skill and mindset and whatever else from this world. No doubt added some other things as well, but I would imagine a good percentage of what you're doing now is drawing from your experience and
Right.
confidence that you got from this world.
Mm.
You're applying it in a completely different domain and you're kicking ass and you're making shite loads of money and you're just scratching the surface. Like,
Mm.
story to tell. Like,
Mm.
to me, that's an inspiring and interesting story. And it's different. No one else is telling that story. And even if they were, their version of it would be different to yours. But no one else is telling a story like that. I mean, look at your competition. Competition's not high for inspiring, creative, thought provoking, challenging, dynamic storytelling from other sales professionals. Like, probably on one hand is your competition, and that's just looking at it through that lens. But the actual specific narrative you're going to tell, no one tells anything like it.
Mm.
I'd say bring your audience with you. Keep your brand, but evolve because you've evolved, and bring your audience with you rather than you go to them.
Yeah.
Some will drop off, others will come with you, and new ones will come, and that's okay.
Yeah. And like there is a little bit of a thing of like I'm seeing all of the AI stuff and should I have chased that? But even then, the volume I would have to do there to get anywhere near what I'm doing now. But I want to be able to do both. But anyway, that's just thought
Well,
process.
because there might be something here. I mean, whether or not we release it or not, we'll see. But this is an interesting conversation, I think,
Mm.
because this is a conversation about evolution and growth and change. As you move into one new world, your relationship with your previous world can get complicated in many different ways.
Mm.
Sometimes you want to like clean break, wash your hands, walk away. Sometimes you stay under sufferance, but your heart's not there, and eventually other people sense that, or maybe they sense it right away. Or maybe you find a new way to have a new relationship with the audience. Like you and I are a good example. I feel like this has already turned into the call, by the way.
Mm.
You and I are a good example. Like I've known you, what, 2012, 13 ish years. How many iterations of our friendship or relationship? Because it wasn't always friendship. The first start, it wasn't. It was, I was your boss.
I didn't
Uh,
think I was your friend.
oh, we weren't friends then.
No, we weren't friends. I
And
couldn't
and
stand
I
you.
know that you didn't consider me one. You didn't even like me.
Yeah.
So hopefully you respected me, but you didn't like me. Uh, did you respect me?
I don't think I didn't not respect you, but it was
Mhm.
more of a just, man, what is this guy's deal? I don't
Mhm.
know. I don't know what he's doing. He's always like, just like looking sideways from your
All
chair
right.
in the back corner.
hold that thought. Let's go into that. Why don't we make today's theme change, dealing with change?
Yeah.
Um, let's. We haven't told our full Genesis story. I mean, most people know that we met when I was in the gym game, similar to what Alex Hormozy used to do back in the 2012 it was. But I was in that space from 2005 until 2014, not full time all the time. I was kind of coming in and out whilst I was in Guatemala, opening up businesses and between countries, blah blah blah. But whilst I was in Australia, I was in that game, and my role grew, and I needed two people on the ground to help me, and you were one of the two that I recruited from a newspaper ad. Didn't know you, your first sales job.
It was a
Obviously,
newspaper ad, wasn't it?
I remember writing the newspaper ad.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I wrote it at my parents' house during summer, just before Christmas. Sent it to my contact at the local paper in Bendigo, where we used to be based. And I remember taking phone calls around Christmas time, organising a bunch of interviews, 5 or 6 interviews from the 20 or 30 applicants. You were one of them, and the rest is history. But with the theme of change and evolution, yeah, what were your impressions of me back then? Because I've shared mine of you. You were green as grass, first sales job, way too much enthusiasm, very low self awareness, but there was something there. Like there
Mm.
was a spark there. I could see there was potential. You were like a rough diamond. Like I knew I had to like break the parts that wouldn't serve you, lack of self awareness, too loud, bull in a china shop. But there was a spark underneath that I thought if we can get rid of that roughness, we can harness that spark. And as long as you're coachable and humble, I reckon we can get you somewhere good. And that,
We're in the right environment for that, though. Front of the gym, ultimately, that's where I was working doing the sales.
yeah,
And I got a good amount of referrals, particularly the second year,
yeah,
solely because I just took the time to get to know everyone, walk through,
yeah.
uh, and it was the
Well,
kind of environment. It was a young, vibrant, energetic place. But if you took that into SaaS, they'd be like, "Nah, too much."
yeah. Well, you were straight out of university. You were 21.
Yeah, but
Um,
I thought I wanted to do marketing.
yes.
'Cause I had a heap of
So did
different
I.
jobs simultaneously for the uni while
Yes.
I was a student because they just paid so well and no one showed up to the jobs that I was doing. So I just did my uni work.
Yes.
Uh, and then I did placement at a marketing firm, and it was by a guy that he was one of the three partners of Australia's biggest marketing firm. Then he left, started his own. So he was like
Yeah.
so kind, so patient. And I just remember sitting there thinking, this sucks. I
Yeah.
don't want to do this. This is so boring.
The reality of what most marketing, well, maybe it's changed, but like you went through that in 2011, 12, that era. I went through that about 10 years earlier than that because I graduated about 10 years before you. I also did marketing at university, business with a marketing major. The reality back then, don't know how it is now, of most marketing roles is not sexy and glamorous like it's thought up to be when you don't know much about it.
And I can only imagine if I'd followed that path, had have stuck with it,
Mm,
as opposed to the path that I did, that would
mm,
have been your traditional marketing firm, follow this, do this. Whereas the
yep.
people that I engage with and engage to do marketing and that sort of stuff for me, beyond my ability, uh,
Mm,
they're operating at a completely different level. So if I had to follow that path, I would have been behind the eight ball for life.
mm, yep.
But yeah, I thought that's what I wanted to do and realized very quickly that was not what I wanted to do. And then I remember I saw that ad and you probably remember I was nuts about the gym at that stage, just
Mm,
training every day, sometimes twice a day. And it was
mm,
all my friends did.
mm,
Uh, I loved it. And I thought, oh, I get to work in the gym. That's
yep.
so cool. And the income wasn't too bad
It was pretty good.
considering.
Pretty
Yeah.
good considering.
Yeah.
Straight out of university, first sales job,
Yeah.
uncapped commissions, a lot of volume, and we got good results in the year we worked together. So, yeah, it was good earnings, and you're in rural Victoria as well. It wasn't urban Australia with the big salaries.
I remember Andy, the other guy that got it, the
Mhm,
other guy that
mhm,
he said he remember he looked at the income and he goes, how are they paying that much for
mhm,
working in a gym? But again, we
mhm.
found out the gym made a lot of money.
Yeah.
Uh, but getting back to the question of what I thought of you at that time,
Mm.
strange, very strange. It was just like you're watching all of the time
Mhm.
and what you let on. I thought that there was a facade of, I don't know who this guy really is. And until I
Mhm.
figure him out, I can't really trust him. You're always kind of like watching and asking questions and interjecting.
Mhm.
And I just remember when I got to know Andy a little bit better,
Mm-hmm.
um, I just like, what the fuck is the deal with Mike? Like, what's going on with him? He's like, I don't know. And this is in the first couple of weeks. And
Mm-hmm.
ultimately, we figured it out. You started to show a little bit of your personality. I think you had this like, I'm the boss. You work for me. That was a little bit of the energy, and I think that was.
Yeah.
And then once that kind of broke a little bit, you started to show some personality, make some jokes, and have some fun. I was like, all right, he is a normal person, but it's just been this feeling out stage.
It probably I I've never been drawn to being a boss and power in that regard. I've said many times in these calls, I don't like telling people what to do. I don't like that stuff. That's not what drives me. It wouldn't have been that. It may have come across as that, and I can maybe see how it was interpreted that way. I had a 3 week window, if you remember, because I was living in Guatemala and I was back. I came back specifically to find you guys and hire you guys and then train you guys. I had like a 3 week window on the ground with you both, if you remember, after you've been recruited.
I could not wait for you to leave that first
It was
time. We'll
basically
count down the days.
January. You guys started like the 10th of January, give or
Yeah.
take. And I think I was flying back there one on like the 31st of January. I had like a 3 week window to get both of you guys up and running because then I was going to have to manage you both remotely, which I did until I came back in June for a 3 month block. So any of that would have been, I don't know if stress is the right word, maybe an anxiety or a cautiousness to make sure, have I got the right guys? Can I get them to where I need to get them to? What do I need to do? It would have been all in that space, but interpreted a different way. Yeah, interesting, interesting. So the theme of today's call, I guess, is change and evolution, and maybe by extension, I guess, changing your relationship with the present or the past because you're going into a new place. That's what formed um, this call. So I brought it back to us because I said you and I have had 3 or 4 different incarnations, including start stops, in our relationship, and then it's come back in a different way, and the old version's died. Like that dynamic, obviously, is dead. That you just touched on a minute ago. In fact, it died after 3 weeks. You started seeing my human side, and then we moved into a different space. And then we had a significant event in the middle of the year when I was back, and I think you guys realised I was on your team after that. If you know what I'm talking about. I'm certainly not going to mention on this call. And then that time ended, and new versions came after that. But if we bring it back to you and where you're at in your journey, like you're in a big transitional point right now in your journey. You've been hardcore remote selling, high ticket, like me, for the last 5 years. In recent times, this year, basically, your focus has moved to a different area, yet you still have a relationship with this remote high ticket space. So I guess the question I have is for you is, A, do you still want to keep a relationship with this world? And B, if so, how do we make it work for you?
Mm.
Or how do you make it work for yourself?
It's not completely separate. And I say this a lot. People get caught in remote sales being high ticket.
Yep.
It's just a different version of it. So instead
Yep.
of me being commission only high ticket,
Yep.
I'm building something that is my own and
Yep.
something that I'll be able to build for a good period of time.
Yep.
And I would never draw a wedge between myself and remote sales or high ticket because
Mm,
there's a lot of friends there. I still work in that area
mm,
with some one-to-ones and courses and that sort of stuff. And
mm,
it's not like it's something that I want to forget.
mm,
But it's just this interesting scenario, this transitionary phase that's been going since late last year,
mm,
where I still loved the high ticket element, but
mm,
I started to realize that there was other areas that I was more interested in. I felt like uh, we use a lot of fighting analogies. I kind of felt like a boxer that was drawn to MMA.
mm,
There were a lot more skills. I was utilizing one skill that I had,
mm.
uh, but I felt like there was an awful lot more, and
Yeah.
I was enjoying building things. And I think looking at the high ticket industry when I started in particular, it
Yeah.
was just madness. And the goal was to find systems and
Yep.
processes and organization in the chaos, which I did. And then, courses happened and I kind of found subjects to systemize. And
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely see what I'm doing now as just a different version of the same thing. It's an industry that is absolute madness in its
Mm-hmm.
infancy. And
Mm-hmm.
no one has come along and put clarity on it. That's exactly what I'm doing. And that's why we're doing so well because we're actually giving, it's the same thing. It's just in the information economy. We're
Mm.
giving people information to make the right decisions. And, when you save someone 50 to 100,000 when they almost spend on something that's going to just completely rock them, uh, even if they don't buy from you right then, they're going to circle back around a little
Mm.
while later. So it's the
Yep.
same thing, taking an industry that's
Yep.
just nuts. And it's still remote sales at the end of the day, but yeah,
Well,
it's
this
kind of that
this is
transition.
why. I mean, I don't know if you're going to edit out the first part of our conversation when we talked about your content strategy. I think you should leave it in. But to me, you still are in remote high ticket selling. There's just a couple of key differences. Like the majority, if not near all of your, I know some of your interactions are face to face, but the vast majority, at least of the initial start point, and maybe even all of the interactions with some people, is remote. It's probably on Zoom or FaceTime or phone calls or
No, just phone calls,
phone
too
calls.
often.
Okay, old school. Old school.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. So that's the same for starters. Physically, you're not in the same building as I'm seeing them eye to eye in real time. It's over a technology-based medium, so same. The price points are very much in the high ticket space. What does one of your chillers go for? Ballparkish?
Anywhere from say 20 to 40, depending on
Okay,
what they go with.
K Australian. So that's 15K US to 30K US ballparkish. That's very much high ticket. So those two things are the same. All that is different is you're selling a product over a service, over a digital product or a digital service. You own the company as opposed to being a 10% commission only 1099 sales rep, and your role is bigger than just. You're also full stack. Most of the roles you've had in recent times has been pretty much at the closer end of the spectrum. Same with me, by choice, because I prefer that end of the spectrum, and I've done my time in full stack, and as of right now, it doesn't appeal. But because you're in a frontier territory and it's your company, and you've got to create something from nothing, you're back to being full stack, which you've done in high ticket. So that's transferable skills. So all the difference is now is product over service. It's your company instead of you contracting your services to somebody else, and your role is bigger than just closing. It's full stack service on the sales front for starters, and then it's operational, it's strategic, it's logistical, part,
Branding,
blah.
everything.
But that's why I think bring your audience with you on the journey. Like that's a great story to tell with learnable principles and moments of inspiration to those that are still in high ticket, but know or dream of one day doing what you've done, which is leveraging your skill set, your confidence, the capital you acquired, the relationships you built, the things you now see because you think differently than how you used to. You saw an opportunity, made it happen. It happens to be in the real world, and high chance it works out really, really well. Like the content writes itself.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, and I think that makes sense because this is the thing that I see for the next. I don't have an end date on this.
But even
Like,
if we just, sorry to interject, and I'll stop after this. What's exciting about this is 6 months ago or 12 months ago, I don't know the timeline. You can tell me you didn't see this coming. Like this is something.
no,
What
I'd
there
been
was
in the conversation with this for a while.
okay, but there was a day when you didn't see this coming,
Yeah.
whether it's 18 months ago or 12 months ago, whatever the day is. And this is part of the excitement of the journey. You just never know where you're going to land.
Mm.
As your skill set increases, as your relationships increase, your visibility increases, the things that now come across your plate or the rooms that you walk into increases, the horizon keeps moving, and things start coming to you that would never have come to you in the past, or you start being included in conversations or thoughts that you just wouldn't have in the past, and you just never know where it's going to land. So like this wasn't on your horizon 6, 18, 12, whenever it was, some period of time ago. Now it's what you're all in with. Like to me, that's really exciting. Like I think I know what my next 6 to 12 months is going to look like, but I'm excited by the fact I don't entirely, and I'm open to the fact it could pivot at any given moment in time.
Mm. Yeah.
That's a story to tell.
There's a lot of opportunity out there. And I even did a post this morning. I don't know if you saw it, but it was
Uh,
basically that what you're doing right now is very unlikely to be the thing that you're doing in 5 years. However,
there you
the opportunities that show up for the things that you'll be doing in the next 5 years are around you right now. So just pay attention.
that basically takes this call full circle because everything that's happening right now is an outcome from everything that happened before it.
Mm.
You and I in this podcast is an outcome from you responding to that ad, and then everything that happened after that ad. You
It's funny
know,
how everything comes together.
yeah,
Even everything that I'm doing with this, all of the skills, abilities I've taken from the high ticket, but also a lot of the connections as well. So the people that
yeah,
I need help with, or the
Yep.
people that I'm contracting to do certain things in the company that uh, I think it was Chris Doe. He just said, when you're running a company, you want to hire the very, very best people for the
Mm-hmm.
job. And if that means that your specialty, there's someone that's better at that
Mm-hmm.
than you,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
hire them. And I think I see a lot of, no, I think I know I see a lot of people try and cut corners and get the cheapest option possible. Whereas my approach is I'm just going to pay the best people possible. And the other thing is being 1099,
Mm-hmm.
not being an employee now for however many years. That's the kind of relationship that I chase with anyone, and everyone's performance based, outcome
Mm-hmm.
based,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and everything just runs so much smoother. And one more thing on top of that, that that ability that we have to just be plugged into an ecosystem and then leave us alone, because that's how I've wanted to operate and how I've operated for a good period of time. Anyone I bring in, that's exactly how I treat them as well. You're here to do a job. If you need support, I'm going to help you, but I brought you in because you already have the ability to get it done. So just
Mm-hmm.
there's so much that came from doing what we do
Yep.
that is built on this. And again, I don't know what the next iteration will look like, but it's exciting now.
And if we go full circle on where you are now, your business partner, is that a relationship from the town that you lived in, that you went to university at, and the gym that we worked at? It is.
I
That's
would
from
have
that.
met him probably just before I met you. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
have met him before I met you.
Yeah. You would never have seen this coming.
Never.
I would never have seen, you wouldn't, we didn't see this podcast coming. Of course, we couldn't. The whole COVID thing, when you came here in 2019 before COVID and broke your foot, and everything that transpired after that. Like,
See that coming even a week before I was there.
of course, how could you? I didn't see you coming to Guatemala because you reached out to me out of the blue, hadn't heard from you in a couple of years. Next thing you know, you were here. Like, we're back to what I said earlier. Like, just putting yourself in situations, being around people, creating an energy about you so that people are receptive to you and want to be around you. And when you're around others, high chance good things happen. You just never know where it's going to take you, and it's very exciting. Very, very cool.
It is.
I think we manifested a call out of nothing then.
Yeah.
James, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. Yeah. It was when things are going really well, I have a tendency to reflect on the kind of things that led here. And I think
Yeah.
that's what happened at the start of the call. It was just all of this, all of the things that led up to this, and the transitions and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, lots of food for thought.
If I can make a suggestion or a request, and I've touched on this already, I think you have a lot to talk about and a lot of stories to share. And I think a very large percentage of your existing audience that you have built up in the last 3 or so years and have come to trust you and look to you for learnings and inspiration and whatnot. I think the majority of that audience will come with you. You'll lose some, but you'll gain others as well. And what's most important is you retain an authenticity and integrity and an excitement regarding your content.
Mm.
Right. I'm not saying you're phoning it in, but you don't get to a point where you start phoning it in. No one benefits if you do that.
Mm. Mm. A lot of it still crosses over. It's just the intention behind it.
The majority will cross over. Like,
Mm.
whilst they don't sell chillers, the learning or the principle or, I could apply that thought or angle to my way of thinking a business will apply. Or it can just be an insight into a world that looks interesting and dynamic, and maybe I'll do my version of that in the future one day. Because I'm so inspired by the fact that 90% of what I'm doing now is transferable.
Mm.
I reckon there's tons of content there. So I look forward to reading about it.
Mm. All right, I think this is a good place to leave it. You've given me a lot to tick over, but I enjoyed this.
Cool. I enjoyed it too. And as always, very much unscripted.
Yeah. All right, I'll see you next week.
See you then.